Hosted by Renee Mueller, powered by Verly. This is where we interview top business professionals, industry insiders, operational managers, and thought leaders from around the nation. Diving into hot current topics to help you experience something good.
Hey guys, so we have Natalie Hornung here, and I had to ask the pronunciation of her last name, so Hornung, we're just going to go with that.
Yep.
Even though there's a U, it's Hornung, so Natalie Wilkie Hornung. And the point of this podcast is to bring back some of the alumni who, for whatever reason, chose to move back to Columbus, and we want to hear exactly why, because we feel like there's a lot to offer here. And I cannot believe how long the list of alumni is, honestly. So, so tell me a little bit about, first off, growing up in Columbus and what part of Columbus you lived in, and then when you left and what led you to come back.
So I grew up just actually a mile north of Lakeview High School.
Okay.
Went to Christ Lutheran there and then went to Lakeview High School. My family farmed. I grew up on a farm. And actually we now live on the farm that I grew up
That's
on.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, yeah, we can see your farm as we're in the area that we developed, which was Meridian.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Meridian Ridge, yes.
Yeah.
I want to say Meadow Ridge. There's too many
Yeah.
ridges. We always get all those messed up here. So, yeah, you have a nice place there. So, so you carpooled with Tyler,
Yes.
my
Yeah.
husband. So,
Yes.
and so that sounds like it was probably interesting. I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Yes. A car full of kids, driving, because, Christ Lutheran was about 8 miles from where we all lived.
Right.
And so, yeah, our parents took turns hauling us all to school every day and picking us up. And
I wonder how many still do that.
yeah,
you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what everybody did. I mean, that's what we talked about. So, and Lakeview has busing, but do the grade schools now have busing? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I know for Lakeview, the Platt Center Elementary and Shell Creek, they do some busing
Okay.
to and from.
Okay, interesting. So your family farmed,
Yep.
and I know actually your mom, now that I think about it, still lives in Meridian Ridge, right? Close
She
to you, so
does,
she can
yes.
overlook and see.
They
the
bought one
farm
of the
place.
first lots
I
there.
forgot that.
And
yeah, I love it. Every time I drive there, I mean, I see her outside quite a bit, and she's always got the friendly wave, and so
Yep.
yeah, your mom's very sweet, and she retired recently, I think.
She did, yeah. She was working at Lakeview in the
Yeah.
kitchen and just retired last year.
Yeah, she had a neat little cake I saw that they had, for her, and it was really, I don't know who made it, but they did a really good job.
Yeah.
So, very cool. All right, well, so tell me a little bit about what you decided to do after high school. So you went to Lakeview,
Yep.
right? Graduated
So
96.
then, yeah.
Okay.
And then we went to, I went to Lincoln and went to community college there just for like a year and a half to get some of my basic undergraduate
Mm-hmm.
classes done. Transferred to the University of Nebraska, Lincoln. Completed my undergraduate there with business degree. And then, through college, I worked all the time. Actually worked at Allied Insurance in the
Oh.
evenings.
Wow.
So it really worked well with my schedule. I would go in there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, work till 10 o'clock, 4 days a week. So then that actually is what took me into my full-time job when I graduated from college, was continuing to work at Allied Insurance, which is now Nationwide Insurance.
Yeah, right. And this was in Lincoln then.
It was,
Okay.
yeah. But I actually took a job in Des Moines, Iowa, just after graduating.
Really?
And so my husband and I moved to Des Moines and lived there for 11 years. We really liked it. We didn't have any kids then.
Right.
So it was, perfect for us.
Yeah.
Bigger city. Just with some changes with Nationwide, we actually moved to Lincoln then in 2011 because my husband had gone through some job changes. 2018-19 was a little challenging with housing and the whole economy.
Still is challenging, but yes.
So he found a job in Lincoln, and my company allowed me to just transfer to the office there.
And this was 2008, you said?
That was 2011.
11, okay.
Yeah, so 2011 we moved from Des Moines to Lincoln.
Okay.
Enjoyed it there. Our kids were just starting into school, preschool, kindergarten, that kind of thing. After being there 4 years, Nationwide Insurance was actually closing the Lincoln office.
Really?
So I could have
Because of the economy then?
Yeah, they were
Really?
just kind of
Interesting.
downsizing, closing a lot of, remote locations. They really wanted their main locations to be in Des Moines, Iowa, or Columbus, Ohio. So I could have kept my job, done the same thing I'd always done, but I would just had to relocate back to Des Moines, Iowa, or Columbus, Ohio. But with our kids, we had kind of been talking for a couple of years, do we want to move back to the farm? My parents were talking about
Had
retiring.
you been? Oh, that's neat, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember talking to your parents actually at the farm. Your dad had asked about the economy at that time, the housing here, and kind of what, our thoughts were on them building, nearby. So I remember, and it seems like that was just yesterday, but
Yeah.
So your parents built, and what year would that have been?
2015.
Yeah, time just flies. I have no idea where that
I know.
went. So
Yeah, 6
amazing.
years.
Okay. And so that was at the point where you guys started having discussions and finally decided it was time then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had kind of been talking about it a couple of years, but then, with my job change, it's like, you know what, now's the time. So we both quit our jobs, found new jobs here in Columbus.
And what did your husband do? And what does he do now?
So he worked for a small engine company in Lincoln, where he did sales, basically.
Okay.
So he sold lawnmowers, snowblowers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed it. If you've ever talked to my husband, Joe, he's a talker, so he's the salesman all the way.
That's awesome. So does he hang out with Ulrichs a lot? They sell mowers
I
and
know.
service them. Yeah. So what does he do now?
So now he works at Balin Manufacturing
Okay.
in the country division. He's a sales manager
Awesome.
there.
Good. I'm sure he does great then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He enjoys
Wonderful.
it.
Okay. Good deal. So your family and your job really are what brought you back to Columbus.
It was,
It's a
yeah.
combination of both. Mm-hmm. So not just one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. And so your husband, I don't know if I asked you this, but where is he from?
He is actually from Humphrey. He graduated from Humphrey High.
So he's pretty close, small town boy too. So
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good deal. And how many children do you guys have?
We have two, Hudson and Hadley. They are 13 years old now.
Okay.
In 7th grade, they just started at Lakeview Junior High. They really like it up there.
Do they?
Yeah.
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 Well, did you guys go to the state football game then?
We did.
Did you? Yeah, I didn't see you guys. We didn't make it out of our seats very much, but
I know,
it was
we didn't
neat to
either.
see. It was really good to see those kids win, and it was a
was
great
fun.
experience for them. Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we enjoy. Obviously, we live in the north part of Columbus as well. So, and my story is similar. So, having the alumni come in and just tell their story is near and dear to my heart because, frankly, I left Columbus and swore I was never coming back. And, there's various reasons why I did. Part of it was family. And I really have to say it's been the best decision I've made, since coming back. I think there's just a tremendous amount of opportunity. And, of course, when you have family here that supports, your family, and
Yeah.
especially if you've got kids. And it's just been a really good decision. So I can relate to that. And like I said before, I cannot believe how many have done that. So I can't wait to hear everyone's stories. But so now you're working for
Weber
I
Insurance.
want to say Weber, but
Yep.
they're under a new name, right?
Yeah, they're a part of
Okay.
GTA Insurance
Okay.
Group, which has several locations across the whole state of Nebraska.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been working there. I've been there for 4 years almost now.
Wow.
I really enjoy it. So
I had no idea you had such a long experience in insurance, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since
I
college.
was with Nationwide for 19 years until I moved back here.
So you can answer any questions.
No.
Let's think of a hard one. Well, good. So what else do you do? What do you like to do in your spare time, or what do you and your husband like most about being in Columbus?
So what we typically do in our spare time is working outside at our farm.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we don't technically farm, we really like to garden, and we've been kind of expanding our pumpkin patch recently. So this year was actually our first
So
time.
you're going to compete with Gary?
Oh, I know.
My father-in-law sells pumpkins, helps the kiddos sell pumpkins, so it's a pretty big deal. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's neat. And so your brother Kirk took over for your parents' farm, correct?
Yeah, he doesn't farm all the land that my dad used to farm, but he does do about 80 acres.
Okay.
And then the rest of it, my mom leases out to Wilkie's, David Wilkie. And
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
Braden
Yep.
Wilkie.
Yeah,
Yep.
neat. Yeah. Tons of ag and farm, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
so good. And let's see, you guys have any big aspirations to do anything else in 2022, or any goals coming up that
Just from us personally, we are, like I said, going to try to expand our pumpkin patch, and we've been working on clearing some more trees out on our farm. Just trying to utilize the land around the farm we have without actually having to go into the field.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and we're just kind of keeping busy with our kids' schedule. They really both enjoy sports and school. And so we work a lot with keeping them running from place to place.
Well, it's pretty neat. Yeah, that's amazing. So, yeah, I love it. I know you guys did quite a bit of work to your house too before you moved in, right? Was all that using local contractors?
It was.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Your husband, did he manage it? Did he help with any of it?
No, he just kind of lined it up. But yeah. We did some, moving the laundry room from the basement, the old basement of a 100-year-old house up to the main floor, redoing some of the kitchen. And yeah, we used all local contractors. They were great to work with.
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in doing that as well. So it's harder to get them these days.
It is.
They're all packed busy. So we try to be patient. But yeah, so good. Any other, questions or anything that you want to put out there for me or for anyone listening, Natalie, that you think is important as far as, coming back to Columbus, any opportunities, anything at all?
No, just for our family, we have really enjoyed it. Especially for us being able to be here now for my mom and being close and helping with everything. And, our kids love it too. I just think back to, COVID when everyone had to be stuck in the house. Yeah. My son was like, man, I can't believe if we lived in the city, what would we be doing?
Right.
They would just go outside and ride their bikes, go walk out to the creek and go fishing.
Right.
And, just that kind of small town atmosphere where you can just
you don't worry near as much.
Things.
Yeah, I agree. So as you know, we live next to my in-laws, and I think during 2020, I'm sure they thought Maverick lived there half the time. So it's just it is nice being able to sit it out, and we live far enough out, similar setting to what Meridian Ridge is, obviously, where the kids they're just playing in the street, really literally, riding their bikes, and doing what kids do. So it's good. It's really nice that you can be so close to family. So, and I'm sure your mom loves it too. So
yes. Yeah. And, I think too, just the development around the community. And I just think of all the houses going up, out by Lakeview too.
Oh, it's incredible. It's the last lot in Meridian Ridge sold not too long ago, just matter of fact, about a month or so ago. And that was a great project, but there are so many others around Lakeview. And if you look at, including some of the area around Platte Center, of course, I don't remember what the exact number was, but I know when Lakeview did their study on the addition that they just completed, looking at how much housing was needed and how much was out there, I think I remember having people ask me, is this really true? Because they can't have 2,000 more homes or individuals in, homes being built in the Lakeview School District. And I said, yeah, I think it probably is. There's so much going on. So, and obviously Columbus is growing by leaps and bounds, but especially to the north. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with Lakeview, Columbus Public. So, yeah. That's not quite such a small school anymore. So, anyway, all right. Well, I want to thank you for your time, Natalie, and we'll be in touch maybe regarding a future episode. And anything else, Matt, we need to add? I like to pull him in. He likes to pretend he's not in the room. But okay, awesome. Well, that's a wrap then.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.